Okay guys, I'm very excited. So as this is more of a book recommendation than it is a review, I will try to refrain from spoilers, and if I do put a spoiler in there, I will bleep it out or something, so I'm not cussing, because I don't do that. No, don't do that here. I will also be giving stars because these are books, all these books I have personally read, and they're from my reading list. And instead of just reading, this is a book I actually have, instead of just reading this part, because I don't have actual books for all of them, I will just basically give you not a summary of it, but a snippet of what it's about. So without further ado, like I just showed you, we're starting with The Poet X. I have 6 books in total, 3 individual books, and then I have like 3 series, which I will not go over the other books in the series. I'll just tell you what the series is about in general. So yes, The Poet X. I got my lipstick on the cover. That's okay because it's my book. The Poet X. This book I would absolutely give 5 stars. You guys don't understand. I read this book, I also listened to the audiobook, and then I read it again because it's such a good book. Like actually, and as you know, if you've been on my channel, which you should, I don't know why you wouldn't be. I love poetry, especially slam poetry. And it's such a great way to relieve stress and for an expression of who you are, that I love that this book is about that, like her finding herself. So the main character of this book is Ziamata. I hope I said it right. I'm pretty sure I did because I read the audiobook. I listened to the audiobook also. But she just, you know, she's a girl who doesn't really have her own voice out loud. She got a notebook. Her brother gave her a notebook for her, was it birthday, I believe? I think so. But he buys her a notebook and she starts expressing herself and pouring herself out, writing poems and other stuff about what she feels. Her family's very religious, especially her mom, and they go to church a lot. But she just doesn't feel as connected to church as she does to her words and other stuff. So one of her teachers one day invites her to join their slam poetry club. And if our school had went out, you best believe I'd be in that too, but I'm in a lot of stuff. But that's not it. But one of her teachers invites her to join her school's poetry club. And I was like, girl, yes. But her mom, as she is very religious and other stuff, and she doesn't want her daughter to basically participate in that. So as you can see, it's the usual, the mother and daughter don't seem to get along. I will not spoil anything, as I said. But just look at this cover. Look at this. You see this? National Book Award winner. Puran Broki? I don't know how to say that. Please don't. Y'all don't make fun of me because I can't speak. But this is the award winner for this too. And then if I can read what this one says. Wow, this one's long. Michael L. Prince Award for Excellence in Young Adult Literature for the American Library Association. Look at this. You see these? If these aren't convincing you enough that this book is good, take my word for it. 5 out of 5. Such a good book. Huh? It's such a good book. I'm probably going to read this again after I finish this video, if I'm being completely honest. It's just the way everything is like phrased and written is just so good. Like it's written like it's in poems, but it's a consecutive story. Yeah. So the next book is Letters to the Lost. This is by Bridget Kimmer, I believe that's how you say her name. I believe it is a her. I'm not sure. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I'm not trying to do anything that I'm, you know. But this book is so good. There's technically a second book, but it's not a series. It is a spin-off of one of the main character's friends because he has a backstory too. And that other book is about his backstory. What went on with him. So it's not technically related. You don't technically have to read this one to read the other one. But this book was so good. I don't cry a lot and I hate crying. I don't like it when I cry because I feel like it makes me feel weak. But this book did make me cry sometimes. It's such a good book. Here I have my computer because, as I said, I read a lot of these on my phone and my computer because I could not, during COVID, have access to my actual library. And I don't have money to buy the books I want to buy. Which hopefully will change soon, because this is going to be a series, guys. I'm going to be doing more book recommendations and stuff because I love to read and I love to share what I'm reading with you guys. So that's exciting. But this book is about a girl named Juliet Young. Her mother was a traveling photojournalist. Sorry. And she is dead now. So basically, Juliet decides to keep in touch with her mom by writing letters to her mom and leaving them on her grave. Declan Murphy is basically their school's like bad boy, you know? He's not somebody you want to mess with. He has a past too, and he is required to serve community service at the graveyard that Julia's mom so happens to rest in. And part of the graveyard thing that they do is they pick up all the left letters and stuff and usually just throw them away. But one day, when Declan's picking up all the letters and flowers and stuff, he sees Juliet's letter for her mom. He doesn't know that it's her, but he sees the letter and reads it, and then he writes a reply, and that's how this little thing starts, with Juliet leaving a letter for her mom, thinking it's just for her mom and nobody's gonna read it, and Declan reading the letter, then writing a response on the letter, which sparks their interaction. And I feel like this book is so good, because like, it's also, I'm currently watching a K-drama right now called It's Okay Not to Be Okay, or Psycho But It's Okay, and I think that it talks about mental health and like other issues so well. Like, only 4 episodes are out right now, but I'm so hooked on it. It's so good. And I feel like this book is kind of like that. Well, not all of them have, like, not many of them have mental illnesses or talk specifically about that. It's similar in the sense that it talks about people, that everybody has their own things going on that you don't know. You could think that the girl who never talks, maybe she lost over her parents, or the bad boy who's rude to everybody, maybe something happened to him as a kid. Basically stuff like that. And I really love that it approaches that and talks about that. Overall, it's just such a good book, especially like if you're feeling kind of down. Originally, like, I was feeling kind of down and I started this book because I was like, this book looks like something that will interest me, or that would talk about stuff that people usually don't talk about. And I was right, and it was such a good book. And the reason why it made me cry was it was just overall so wholesome. Like, there's not a lot of books that I read so far that are like that, and I think it's just such a good book. This one also is a definite 5 out of 5. I personally really think you should read it. It's such a good book. But moving on, for our last individual book, this book is Unpregnant by Jenny Hendricks and Ted Kaplan. This book, I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna start with a rating first of all. I give this book like 4 out of 5. It's not a 5 out of 5 because it was interesting, but I really would have liked the conclusion to be better, in my opinion. Like, I had an image of what it was going to be like, and of course it's okay that it didn't like go like what my mind was thinking, which is actually better because I didn't want it to be predictable, which it definitely wasn't, but it was also really interesting. But I wish the ending was just a bit more like wholesome, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word to use, but yeah, a 4 out of 5. This book is about a 17-year-old girl named Veronica Clark, who is such a good student. She's like the top of her class. She's doing everything like so well. She's just like slaying, like killing the game. Like, she's doing so good. Then she finds out she's pregnant, and her going away, leaving her her town, her city, to go to a college out of states, her grades, to her family. Her sister, I believe, has a thing also, which is why they're like not super big on teen pregnancy. I won't spoil it or anything, but her boyfriend and all that. So she decides that she can't be pregnant, which, in other words, she needs to get an abortion. But the nearest clinic is, I believe it tells me right here, over 900 miles away, basically. And she can't tell her parents. Well, she feels like she can't tell her parents. She can't tell her boyfriend or anything like that. So who else does she have to go to but her ex-best friend? and they have not gotten along. But basically, she's gonna try and embark on this journey to go over 900 miles to go to this clinic with her ex-best friend to get rid of her baby, because nobody else can know. So basically, that's how it goes. That's what it's about. It honestly is such a nice book, and then like their friendship and like what actually, like how she got pregnant and all this stuff. It's a really good book, but I wanted something towards the end that's like either more wholesome or a little more like, like this is what happened or something like that, kind of, you know. Like I feel like the way it ended was like there was no up or downhill. It was just a steady stream, which was kind of weird because I felt like the book was like, oh yeah, stuff is going on, ending. Like, yeah, I wasn't satisfied by the ending, but it was a really good book. So now we are into this series, and I read a lot of series. Like I love books that are series or chronicles or trilogies or whatever. I'm a fan. That's all that matters. The first one I will be talking about is the Matched series, which I will put here. Each book looks like there's 3 books. This is by Ali Condi, I believe that's how you say the last name. And Matched is a really good series. I don't remember the main character's name is, what her name is off the top of my head, but I know the main character's name is Kai, but I can't remember what the female character's name is. That's sad, but I remember the book. I give this book a 4.5 out of 5. I just, again, like I said, was like kind of like unpregnant. I just wish the ending, like, it was a nice ending. Like, it concluded everything well, but for some reason I kind of wanted something different, you know? Like, it was a peaceful ending, and I was like, yes, this is what needs to happen. But I also wanted something that just kind of like sparked something, you know? Not enough to spark a whole nother book, but it was just a little, but it's a really good book. I know, I should definitely read it. Matched, there's 3 books. It's Matched, what is it? What's the other one? Crossed and Reached. The whole thing with the Matched series is that it's set in a world where basically your soulmate is matched for you once you become a specific age. You go to like a matching ceremony and you're matched with your soulmate, and that's how you live your life. They also give you like regulation stuff. It's very like kind of like Hunger Games, but not really, because they're not like killing or like fighting each other, but in the sense that it's organized where there's specific things. I'm trying to think of other examples. I found a better example. Divergent. It's more like Divergent. There's not separate like faculties or anything, but like in Divergent, you know how there's like the ceremony where you pick if you want to be like Divergent or not Divergent, all the other like ammunition. I can't speak, but I'll put the words up there because I can't think right now. But basically, instead of that, there's a matching ceremony, but you don't get to pick. It picks your partner, and that person basically becomes your soulmate. But here's the thing. The girl, when it's her time, and she, like, after she gets her soulmate, it turns out to be somebody she knows, like her best friend, which is, like, not common. And then, basically, they give you a tablet, because usually your soulmate isn't from the same place as you are, like the same county or whatever. And so they give you a tablet for you to learn everything about your soulmate, like what they like and stuff like that. And it shows their face. But hers seems to have a glitch in it, and it shows Kai's face. And she's like, this is not how our system works. Our system doesn't glitch or anything like this. This doesn't happen. What's going on? She tries to ignore it and stuff like that. But basically, this is a journey of her figuring out whether or not their society actually needs to be matched, or needs to be put together the way, or made the way they say it's made. And basically is what happens. And it's a pretty good series. Like, when usually if I read a series, if I like it, I'll read the next book. If it's already out, I'll try and check it out or buy it and read it right after so I can finish the series, because I am that kind of person. And this book was really good. It was really nice and really cute series. And I just, I fell in love with Kai. That, he's just, if you read it, you know what I'm talking about. He's just so, like, not necessarily innocent, but, like, kind of, like, he feels innocent but generous, and, like, he can do so much, but, like, doesn't in a way that, like, kind of is attractive. I don't know, but it's such a good book series. But the next series is the Black Witch series, and I live for this series. If y'all have heard of this series, the book legit, today's July 1st. I'm recording this on July 1st. The last book of the series, I believe it's the last book. It came out June 9th of this year. It just came out, and you best believe I already read it, and I love this series. 5 out of 5, guys. I'm not playing with you on this. Such a good series. I live for books like this. Actually, the last series I'm gonna tell you about is similar to this one, and since that it's like, this book series is basically, so, well, let me explain it first. I guess I should probably do that. I'm really excited, guys. These last two are two of my favorite series of all time, besides, like, Harry Potter, because, you know, I'm a Hogwarts girl at heart. But, so, basically, I can't remember the main character's name either, but I will explain while I search. It's called The Black Witch because the girl's family, for generations, it's The Black Witch, and the author, it's Lori Forrest. I should have started with that. I'm just so excited. Okay, basically, it's about the girl's family. What's her name? Ellerin. Sorry, I love Ellerin. Okay, Ellerin's family is, like, they hold the history of the Black Witch. Like, her grandmother was the great Black Witch who, like, ended the war and all stuff like that. And so basically, they were finding, like, the next generation, there's a prophecy that a new Black Witch will emerge, and that she will basically end the war, in other words. And so I'm really trying so hard not to spoil anything, because I love this series and I really want you guys to read it. Okay, well, basically, when it's her turn to go to school, as there usually is a school for, like, witches and wizards and whatever, she's sent to her school, but they also, since there's a prophecy about the next Black Witch emerging and, like, ending the war or whatever, she basically, it's so hard not to spoil anything because I read all the books and I love this series so much. Okay, she gets sent to the school that her grandma used to go to, and everybody's like, oh, she could be the next Black Witch. But there's a girl there who's also, like, has a lot of power. And basically, along this series, I believe this is Black Witch, Iron Flower, Shadow. There's 3 books in this series, and I can't talk about the books. Okay, you know what? I'll just give you an overview, basically. 5 out of 5, I already said. Basically, over these books, they're trying to figure out, it's kind of like there's, like, the witches and stuff, and, like, there's other people, like, you know how there's, like, fairy, and, like, there's, like, Lupin, is that what they're called? I don't remember, but there's different types of other people, like, kind of, like, there's, like, in some, like, stories, there's, like, trolls, or, like, fairies, or, like, sprites, and other stuff like that. There's basically that, and stuff in the book, but those people are considered bad, and the witches and stuff are, like, the good people who saved their town from them, but they're all allowed to go to this school. So she goes to school and all that, and she interacts and makes friends and other stuff, but it also makes her wonder if there really needs to be a war starting against them, if the prophecy of the so-called Black Witch is just said, is said to end all these people and in the war and how to get their territory and all that, she wonders if that prophecy is accurate, because it doesn't, from her point of view, seem like these people are bad or that it needs to be like that. So basically, like, her and the friends she makes and all that stuff are on a journey basically to find whether or not it's necessary, or if she is the Black Witch that the prophecy speaks of, and if she is, if that's what she has to do, or if she is the Black Witch, if she can pave her own path and do something different than the prophecy says. But at the same time, her trying to do all this stuff risks her position with her people, because her people believe that the other people are bad and the other people believe they're bad, and so on. It's a very long and complicated thing, but it's such a good series. And on that note, the last series right now, besides, you know, Harry Potter, obviously, this is one of my favorite series. It is up there. It is one of my favorite series, and it rested my heart. This last series, ooh, that scared me. This last series is the Blythewood series. Blythewood, I think Hawthorne is the last one. Let's see. I love this series, like everything I have in me. Yes, I was right. Hawthorne is the last one. It's Blythewood, Ravencliff, then Hawthorne, and I love it. I love this series so much. Basically, it's about a girl, you know, it's just her and her mom who are left, and they're like they're just chilling, you know, in regular old-timey New York. She works in a factory or whatever. But then her mom suddenly dies one day, and she's like, what the heck? What's going on? So now in a way she's kind of an orphan, and she's going through stuff, and then stuff goes down. Stuff I can't tell you, but you need to read. You must read this book. But stuff goes down, and then basically somehow her grandma finds her, and she's like, you're living with me now. And when her grandma finds her, she's like, you're gonna go to the school where our legacy is. And so she gets sent to a school. Obviously, she finds out it's a magic school that her mom went to, but however, her mom was expelled from the school. I believe she was expelled. Either that or she left, but I'm pretty sure it was expelled. She was expelled from the school. So it talks about that, like how it actually happened, like why she got expelled, which I won't tell you. But my mom got expelled from the school, and now she's going to school, and all these people are the kids around her age, and like, she's one whose mom got expelled. Is she gonna do the same thing? Is she gonna do legacy? Stuff like that. You know, that's how things usually go down. And of course, it's similar to, I guess you can see I have like a bit of a type. Like Harry Potter is my favorite book series, and it's magic. And then Blythewood is my second favorite, and it's magic. And then the Black Witch is a lot of magic. But like, like the Black Witch, except this one's different. All the bad like creatures or people live in the forest, which the school borders, because their job in the school is basically they learn how to protect people and how to keep the bad things in the forest. And so as it usually happens, she begins to question stuff, and she's like, are the people in the forest really that bad? Is what's going on really that bad? Like, I don't understand. And she like slowly starts to find out what happened to her mom. That was her main mission coming there. She tries to find out what happened to her mom, for one, and then two, if all the teachers and professors are really if the forest basically is as bad as they say, and if it really is something that they should look at as a threat. So that's what happens with this series. And of course, I guess in the Black Witch, the like main villain kind of person is within their community, kind of, because like it's like the community fighting against each other about if the people are really that bad. But in the Blythewood series, there actually is a steady villain, which I won't, because there's stuff about him that you need to know from the books, which means you should read the books. But yeah, I really hope you guys liked this book review. I really love these books. That's why I was kind of like, the whole time, basically, because these books are also my favorites and also exciting. And these books, I keep a list of every year, all the books I read, like every year. Like I started in halfway through 2018, and I wrote down all the books I read, and then once it turned 2019, I changed it. I started a new section, 2019, and all the books I read. So now I'm on 2020, obviously. And actually, I'm about to make a book door, which is kind of, that doesn't sound weird, that sounds kind of weird. But I'm gonna turn the back of my door into all the books I've read so far for 2020. And yeah, and then we're gonna do that because I'm so excited and I love the books that I read. So yeah, guys, I really hope you liked my book recommendations and that you read all of them. And if you don't read all of them, at least read The Black Witch and Blythewood, because those are my two favorites. And I think y'all will really like them too. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll see you next time for another of my videos. Bye!